I gotta tell you, this business of changing the clock on the same weekend when it is Easter Sunday, I mean, who has time to look pretty? I barely had enough time to get here today. Welcome, everybody. This is Coffee and Headlines Easter Sunday edition. Today is Sunday, April 4th, and it is Easter Sunday. Look at this fabulous little thing that I found for myself. I thought I'd wear it for a little while, then I might get just all bothered by it, and then I'll get rid of it. I'll get rid of it. It's great to see you. This is Coffee and Headlines, our daily get together live here on Facebook, where we exchange Easter bonnets on Sundays, I suppose, and we exchange headlines, coffees, ideas, questions, suggestions, everything we can get our hands on to have a better life as a community of English-speaking locals living here in Puerto Vallarta. But of course, not today. Today is Sunday, Sunday Funday, where nothing is sacred, no one is safe, and just like that, we can wear different things such as this. Bam! See, that's a little bit less of a production. I feel a little bit better because it's lighter on the head. Although, if you really want to see my pickle, I can show you the pickle, but not yet. Today, we are going to talk about Easter. We're going to talk about a couple of new restaurants that we added to our restaurant list. And I'm still feeling very self-conscious and silly wearing this thing. Let's see who's in the house before we dive into the program. Let us see what we have. Jennifer's in the house. Sly is in the house. Jesse, hello, future husband. Raymond is here. I didn't get any yummy treats, although I did venture out to the supermarket yesterday and got some coffee. El Centro is into this. I love it, Jill. I love it. Da, da, dee, da, da. Let's see what else. Buenos dias, Miguel from California. It's great to see you. Karen says, let's have fun, and we'll try our damnedest. Let's see what else we have. Anaheim. Good morning, John. It's great to see you. Looks like it was a big night last evening. Not for me. I was home earlier playing with my hooks and went to bed earlier. I was a good boy. I was actually really good. But I still woke up late this morning. I was like, shit, I don't have time to get ready. Raimundo agrees with me. It's like, it's a crazy day to be, doing things. Oh, I'm so glad, Sherry, that you got a chance to watch Closure. That's wonderful. Michael says, exactly. That's the Easter spirit. I love it. Betsy says that Emiliano Zapata was very, very lively last night. I'm not surprised. What was it that Logan said yesterday about Emiliano Zapata feeling like the Froggy game. I forget. Something along those lines. Megan is coming to Puerto Vallarta in 2 months. That's totally awesome. Claude continues to freak out about the crazy amount of people out there. Don't worry, Claude. They're on their way out later on today, hopefully, and we will be able to go back to our city. El Centro is loving my bonnet. Well, you're probably referring to the fabulous hat. Boom! I was wearing earlier. There you go. And what else do I have? That's all I have for hats today. Let's see what else we have. Another closure watcher. That is so nice. Imagine how fun it would be that they would come here and they would show us a movie in person. Zoe thinks I look pretty in pink, so I live to please Zoe. So I'll go back to pretty in pink. Zoe, when are you coming to Puerto Vallarta? Please let us know because we miss you. I hope things are going well for you wherever you are. Okay, enough of this. Let's get rid of the hats. Although I do want to tell you, in case you're wondering, that after Halloween, Easter is the top selling candy holiday. More than 90 million chocolate Easter bunnies are manufactured each year. And in the 13th century, this church prohibited the eating of eggs during Holy Week. Who knew? And of course, Americans consume over 16 million jelly beans on Easter, enough to circle the globe more than 3 times, but I'm sure you already knew that. My question to you is, what movies come to mind to you when you're thinking about Easter? I have one, and I'll tell you what it is after you tell me what yours are. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments. And while this is happening, I want to tell you a little bit about yesterday. Yesterday, I was wigging out because I ran out of coffee. It had been 2 days in which I had not had any coffee, and my body was starting to feel a little funky about that. So around 1 o'clock, a friend of mine spontaneously volunteered a comment on Facebook chat. He said, "I discovered the United States, and it is at La Comer." And I figured, shit, I want to go to La Comer, and it's going to be really crowded. So I went out and had lunch with a friend of mine. It was an unplanned lunch, and I say that because I had promised somebody from the cluster that we would go together to this restaurant, which I had not been to. I am sorry, Rita. The opportunity presented itself yesterday, and I ended up going to La Romantica, which I have been meaning to go to. It is on Fluvial Avenue, and I've been meaning to go to because La Romantica is, along with Tacos Revolucion, is owned by the brother of Arturo Guerrero, who is a regular here in our closure. So I went to La Romantica and had lunch with a dear friend of mine, and it was really lovely. I didn't take photographs of the inside, but I wanted to show you a little bit about their Facebook page because their specialty are churros. Churros is this fried dough that we love to eat here, and they serve them with milkshakes, and they also have great burgers and paninis. And let me show you the churros split. This is like a Mexican banana split, but instead of bananas, it has churros on the side. No, I didn't get to try that, but that's the reason why I want to go back. Now, sitting at this place, I was looking at a place from afar across the street, and I realized that it's not what I thought it had been. It is a brew house, which I could see from afar. And I had walked around Fluvial before, and I had seen the sign from afar, and I thought, because of the color, I thought it was one of these. Like, I thought it was a DeWalt shop, and I figured, who would put a hardware store there? But then, upon closer inspection, we were sitting at La Romantica, and there it was, Brew House. And I realized I had made a mistake. I just thought, a yellow logo, but it is this beautiful place that we ended up going to see, and it was gorgeous inside. And so what we ended up doing is we had lunch here, and then we had a glass of wine here. and it was absolutely wonderful to go see both places. Needless to say, both places are now featured in our map. Check it out. We now have 30 essential restaurants, eateries, and food related shops in our Versalles for Foodies map. And here are the brand new entries. Here is the one for La Romantica. Where is the photograph? There it is, right on Avenida Fluvial, right next to Farmacia Guadalajara. And across the street is Brew House. And it's not on the main road, so you would probably miss it unless you were looking for it. I love the place. It's not inexpensive, but it is not expensive either. It was just a really pretty place. We didn't try the food, but I thought it was a great place to sit down, hang out, and grab a cocktail. It is a sports bar. They promote broadcasts and such. So it may not be a place for you if you don't want to have the television playing. But on the other hand, if you like to watch your games at a place, this might be an awesome place to consider for those of us that live on this side of the city. Let me take a quick look at some of your comments to see what you're thinking. Bim, bim, bum, bum. Tony asks what internet site is closure available on. Tony, I've gotten the show notes from Alex, the director, and I will post this on the show notes. I know that it is available on Amazon Prime Mexico because that's how I watched it. Um, and I'll make sure that you have the information. Matthew asks more candies than Valentine's Day. Apparently, that is the case. That's what the internet told me this morning. And of course, we know that everything we see on the internet, Matthew, is accurate. And today is Sunday Funday. Let's see. Colleen thinks Harvey. Claude thinks Willy Wonka. Diane thinks Ben Hur. I didn't know that Ben Hur had to do with Easter. Then again, I have not watched it yesterday. I have not watched it yet. See, I cannot even articulate it. Sunday. It is so funny because when I think, and Christy thinks Wizard of Oz, when I think Easter, I think Steel Magnolias because of the scene at the end. It's like, boom, that's the one movie that comes to mind. And it is a lovely, lovely film. Dan says we ran to Costco around 5:30 on Good Friday, and the store was pretty much empty. And that was my experience. You know, after I had lunch with my friend, I went to both Costco and La Comer, and it was around 4:30 or 5, and it was pretty mellow, which was very, very pleasant. Of course, we know that Costco is closed today, so please feel free to find ways to survive between today and tomorrow so that you can go to Costco tomorrow. Let's see. Churros are the best. Great combination. Again, I didn't stay for the churros, James, but I am really looking forward to going back to La Romantica and having the whole churro experience. Let's see. Oh, thank you very much, Sharon. Food at Brew House is good. That's good to know from somebody that has already tasted the food. All I had was a lovely glass of wine. In hindsight, we should have actually purchased a whole bottle instead of buying two separate glasses of wine because we could have easily had a second glass, but it is one of those things. When going into a saved link for Foodies Map, will the map always update or just have the original restaurants listed? Sherry, that's a really good question. You may have to refresh your browser, but as soon as I add a new restaurant, I publish the update and it should show up just fine. Joe asks, what do I look at when I'm talking to you? The broadcast screen or a camera? I look at both. I am actually looking at my webcam, not my webcam, the camera that is installed on my laptop, and right under it is my main screen. So that I can see myself as I'm talking to you, but sometimes I look this way because I have another monitor here, and sometimes I look this way because I have another monitor here, and sometimes I look this way because Luna sometimes hangs out down there. So I hope that answers your question. Let's see. Oh, Lisa made it to Busserias. Mazel tov. Excellent. You mean you are not dancing around an empty villa in a kimono this year, Logan? What can we do? How can we help you? I have a kimono if you want to borrow it, and you can come dance here in my apartment. It is completely empty except for Luna and I. Hollandaise sauce sounds like a good idea. I know that my friend Sandy has a recipe for hollandaise sauce, so we can actually um, talk to her if you want. Let's see what else we have before I ask you the big question. Ah, I didn't realize that Ben Hur is a religious epic. I know of the film, and I know that I am a horrible person for not having watched it yet. It is one of the big ones. I haven't watched Gone to the Wind either, so don't hold it against me. Um, where was I going? I don't know where I was going. Oh, but I do have a big question. Anyone under my desk? I wish, Claude. I wish. It's been pretty lonely down there. Oh, what can I tell you? Um, I do have something that I want to bring back because it seems so timely, and we haven't visited with my dear friend Eileen in some time. And of course, Eileen Pierce is a dear friend that has a small Airbnb, a small bed and breakfast or a small rental, condo rental in San Pancho, and it was over 10 years ago that she taught me the expression of being mexicuted. And of course, being mexicuted is when Mexico fucks with your brain enough that you feel like you want to quit and you want to go away and you want to leave because you think all kinds of horrible things are happening to you because you live here. So my friend oh, let me pause because I was just reading, Matthew, that Ramon Navarro was gay and that it was a big scandal and so forth and so on. Thank you very much. See, now I'm going to go watch this. Anyhow, back to my friend Eileen. We're having a casual conversation and she starts talking to me about mexicution. I'm like, what is a mexicution? And she explained it to me and I laughed so hard. I said to her, please let me take a video of you explaining what a mexicution is. So again, this video was shot over 10 years ago, but it is so perfect for now. Take a look.
I think that it's interesting that I thought that this was going to be my last great adventure. And in the midst of it, finding myself alone in Mexico, I was overwhelmed by it. Mexico taught me something I never knew before, and that is you've got to let go. If you spend your whole life holding on, you're going to spend your whole life fearful. And I got to the point with Mexico, and I was telling you earlier, I was mexicuted. I mean, everything went wrong. I had a guy who was stung by a scorpion, a guest, on his penis. I was like, how can this be happening? I had people drowning who even knew such a thing. You know what I mean? Everything went wrong. Pipes burst. I can't even think of it all now. Communication lines were always down. The car was always breaking. It was just one thing after another. And by the end of this really busy season, which was very successful, I just didn't feel like I could take one more step. And so I got somebody to run it for me for a couple of seasons. And then I came back totally refreshed and realized that I had, like the music used to drive me crazy. I remember the first time I realized how many roosters there were and the sound in the morning. I actually woke up the first morning I was here, I was still married at the time, and I heard this horrible racket out there. And I woke my husband up and I said, I think there's some kind of revolution going on. It has to be. And he said, what do you think it is? I said, I don't know, but I think there's a revolution. And it turned out to be the roosters. It was like a wall of noise. It sounded like an angry crowd. I mean, that's how nuts I was. I was so frightened of everything. And I kept trying to be safe. And you're never safe. But in the United States, you sort of think you are. You know, we're all in denial up there that we've got more control than anybody has. And you come down here and you have none. You have none. And so I just couldn't put one foot in front of another. For after that, it was my third season, and so I flew around for a while. I was in transition, staying with friends and family and whatever. And then I came back in April, and it was like, now I can do this, you know. It was so interesting because one morning, Ramon, who lives downstairs, I came out, he said, oh my God, did you hear the banda last night? And I said, no. He said, you didn't hear that? And I said, no. So somewhere it's like, I don't hear the banda anymore, you know. It's quieter for me, and I'm less frightened. If a pipe breaks, and you know pipes in Mexico break, it breaks, and I have a great electrician plumber, and, you know, I have a network now. And I feel like I belong in this wonderful little community, you know, to the extent that a foreigner can belong. And Mexico is very welcoming. Mexican people are very welcoming of us. I mean, they are warm and welcoming. And so I guess that's it. I'm going on and on. You always have to go like this, or I'll talk forever.
So that was my dear friend Eileen Pierce talking about her Mexicution. And, you know, we all get Mexicuted on a regular basis. Some Mexicutions are stronger than others, but I watched that again this morning, and I thought to myself, this is just so timeless. And I wonder if anybody has been Mexicuted lately. I have not been Mexicuted lately, although I feel like COVID is Mexicuting my face. I am getting so chubby. It is just crazy. Let me take a quick look at your comments to see if I missed anything. Let's see. Speaking of roosters, Jose Ramon Martinez and Isaac. Yes, Joey and Isaac got themselves a rooster. These are our dear friends Joey and Isaac that published the Gay Guide Vallarta and that have just premiered their second live broadcast. I think it went on yesterday. I missed it. But they are sweet, sweet people. And I know they published this great video yesterday of them playing with their new rooster. I think somebody asked them, so how much was the rooster? And they said they paid 100 pesos for it. No, Luna, you are not getting a rooster. Don't even think about it. Let's see what else we have. Nice comment, Lisa. See, every now and then we're all entitled to go a little bit nutty about our surroundings, and every now and then we are all entitled to just taking a deep breath and taking a break from whatever it is that we need. Let's see. Frock the time. Did I miss the bina bunnet bonnet bambuni? I can wear the bambuni again. The Bonita Bean. Let's see. There it is. Well, there's two. What do you want? I can go pink. I'll go pink. There you go. The bonnet is back. Loved her comments about safety. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, nobody's ever safe, and we just need to learn to live with it. There must be a revolution going on. I know that is really, really funny when she says, "I don't hear the bander anymore." Raymond says, Eileen is my soulmate. I didn't realize I had. She is a fabulous lady, a very well read, very insightful, very interesting woman that lives up in San Pancho. Oh, Matthew, I can totally relate to that. When I first moved here from the United States, in the United States, people are not like squished. Well, I mean, now that we live in COVID times, nobody should stand close to anybody. But I remember waiting in line to talk to a teller when I first moved to Puerto Vallarta after living in the United States for almost 2 decades. And I have somebody breathing down my neck as I was conducting my business. I'm like, I mean, what the fuck are you doing? It would drive me crazy as well. Totally. Lynn can relate. Yes, Mexicuted is a fabulous must-use word because it happens often. It happens often. Kelly says it seems so easy to blame the shit that happens in life on Mexico, but shit happens and that's just life. This is true, and that is so very wise, Kelly. I can't see myself talking about wisdom with that bonnet on. Sorry. um, let's see. Love the Easter bonnet with all the frills upon it. Oh, so you want to see the other one? Fine. Let's see. Which one was it? It was this one. Uh, Boom. There you go. See, that's more like it. But just for a moment. One, two, three. Bye bye. Let's see what else we have. Our whole lives are refreshed after being in Mexico for 2 months each winter. Then everything is forgotten and life goes on. There you go, Sherry. You know, if it is only 2 months and that is what you enjoy, then that is absolutely wonderful. Oh, Diane, please tell us about this because I read on the paper that there are big problems in Punta de Mita right now. Because, well, we figured we are not going to talk about hard news today, but you're absolutely right. There is some major controversy because the whatever water is available in Punta de Mita is not being distributed in in um, in a even way in a um oh fuck, I'm at a loss for a word. The water is not being distributed but in an even way. Yeah, I suppose I gotta get my dictionary out after the show is over. Not now. Judith is asking, can you please explain or define Mexicution? Mexicution happens when the surroundings do not provide you what you are used to, or what you expect. You get executed when the carpenter tells you, oh, yeah, your bookshelves will be ready tomorrow, and 3 months later, you're still not with bookshelves. Execution happens when you waited in line for 3 hours at the bank and you finally get to a teller, and after 3 hours, the teller that tells you, oh, no, you have to do this by the computer, not in person. That's being executed. Executed is whenever things don't work and you're inclined to blame it on Mexico, but it's not Mexico necessarily. It's you not being accustomed, or we not being accustomed to how things are done here. That is a execution. And Mexicans get executed too. Don't think this is just an exclusive feature that you get because you're foreigners. Mexicans get executed all the time. Oh, thank you very much for completing my sentences. Thank you. Oh God, Cluster, you make my English even better. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see what else. Raymond, seriously, thought the faucets in Punta de Mita dispense Perrier. Well, they may dispense Perrier in Punta Mita, but not in Punta de Mita, which is the towns surrounding the fabulous compound. And there's a lot of story. There's a lot of stuff to unpack there. And we're not going to do it on a Sunday because we want to stick to happy things. But if the water situation in Punta de Mita continues to escalate, we're certainly going to talk about it tomorrow in the news. Congrats to Sharon Gerber Scherer on a successful run in Mamma Mia, which wrapped up last night. Mazel tov. Where are my claps? Where are my claps? Here they. Oh well, there you go. Mazel tov. Oh my God. Let's see. Water is not distributed in a consistent manner. Thank you, Dave. That's exactly what I was trying to say, but English failed me. English fails me on Sundays. Um. Oh dear. Oh, so it is bad. Shikes. Shikes. Oh wow. Okay. Well, Diane, my thoughts are with you, and again, I read about this yesterday. We will certainly follow this, but no water is coming into Emiliano Zapata, Corral del Risco. Emiliano Zapata and Corral del Risco, just so you folks know, are the two towns that were almost, they were there, but they were not really big. And then came Punta Mita, and Punta Mita was built, the fabulous compound with hotel after hotel after hotel, and And then, of course, all that construction brought in a lot of people to populate these small towns that were outside of the gated community. And when most of the building was done, it's like everybody forgot about these towns. And these towns have been in desperate need of all kinds of resources and education and this, that, and the other. There is a foundation called Punta de Mita Foundation or Punta Mita Foundation, I forget, but there's a lot to unpack in the glamour of Punta Mita versus the lack of glamour of the towns that are just surrounding it. We'll definitely get to that at some point. Um, Mexicuted happens to Karens in the U.S. Mm, I wonder if it's kind of related, Scott. Um, I I suppose you could look at it that way. I'm not entirely sure that it's a parallel. Um, Mexicuted, not knowing the local customs. I think it has more to do with going to another place where you're not used to the way they do things. Like for example, if I went to Japan, I would be wigged out about having to squat to pee because men's urinals are different and women's urinals are as well. Eileen's perfect word was network. Everyone needs a network for support. Absolutely. And yes, and yes, I mean, I appreciate your words very much, Linda. I didn't realize when we started Coffee and Headlines how much of a support network we would become or the project would become. And I rely on the company of you to keep my days balanced. And I keep learning from you every single day. And I'm always grateful for that. Let's see what else we have. Yes, for Eileen, it took a scorpion biting one of her guests on his penis for her to learn how to let go. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? She has a beautiful property. I've stayed there a number of times, but I never fell asleep face down on the grass butt naked, and I pray to God I never will. Let's see. Let's see. Mushi has a good point. Karen's behavior is 100% their own fault. Nothing to do with any country. I I agree. I agree. But there is an interesting point there, Mushi, because people here that come to Puerto Vallarta from other countries. I was having this conversation with my friend Sandy yesterday about there's a woman in her condo that oh shit, maybe that woman is watching. Well, I don't care. It's Sunday. It's Sunday. So, yeah, I haven't said any names other than my friend Sandy's, but she says that there's this woman living in her condo that does nothing but complaining about the surroundings. And I asked my friend, do you think we hear ourselves whining all the time? And she said, no, we don't. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people that complain about their surroundings just are so used to doing it that they're just not hearing the way they sound. So, it takes a little bit of perspective. The question is, what do we do as individuals when we encounter people like that? I mean, I tend to avoid them as much as we're supposed to be avoiding close distance with other people. If I run into someone or someone starts telling or just shedding their stress and their whining on me, I try to find a way to just avoid that situation altogether. And that's because you, as a community, spoil me rotten. I mean, you are, for the most part, a group of really enlightened, wonderful individuals that are here and now and appreciate and love your surroundings as much as I do. So this is a good thing. Let us give us all a big pat on the back. There you go. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Um, Jesse took over replacing an Airbnb portfolio, and the lady I replaced had no network. Interesting. I'd love to hear more about that at some point, Jesse, because I'd never heard of an Airbnb portfolio and the importance of having a network. I would be interesting to learn more about that. I would imagine that anybody that is managing a bunch of Airbnbs would want to have a sexy mailing list and would have a great photography and contact people and return guests and so forth. But what do I know? I don't have one of those, but I think it's absolutely wonderful. Um, I like Debbie's take. IMB, it's Mexico, baby. As in, get used to it, baby. Um, I thank you for that, Matthew. You know, we change. I know I've changed, and I have friendships today that I struggle with because I changed. And these friendships sometimes continue to be negative, and they don't find a way to overcome that. And it is it is a personal thing. It is a personal thing. Um, I wonder if she put cream on his penis. Seriously, John. uh, and thank you for that, Karen. I absolutely agree with you, and I'm not at all crazy about using the name in that context. In fact, I like it how in Mexico we call them lords and ladies. You know, whenever and I'm sure if you've been around coffee and headlines enough, every now and then we will run across some kind of wild story of some man or woman in Mexico that did something totally entitled, and they become lady something or lord something, which is um, a little bit nicer than calling somebody a Karen. Let's see. Da-dee-da-da-da-da. Learning to go with the flow is necessary in any culture that is unfamiliar to us. Thank you for that, Dan. I think it is definitely something that we all can learn from and turn it into a fun discovery. And that's what we try to do here at Coffee and Headlines. But I think it is a good time to bring closure, boom, boom, to this broadcast because we've been here for a little while. It is going to be a wonderful day for me. I hope it's going to be a wonderful day for you. As always, we keep our eyes open to whether our governor gives us any interesting new news about COVID 19. He usually does this on Sundays. We know that the first week, Semana Santa week, ends today. And we know that Semana de Pascua begins tomorrow. So it's going to be way too early to figure out if the numbers took a turn for the worse or the bad as far as COVID 19 is concerned. But I certainly hope that whoever has been in town has been well behaved. I hope you have a really, really good day, and I'll see you again tomorrow. And if not tomorrow, hopefully sometime very soon. Have a great day.